but apparently has trouble approaching girls because he feels like it's creepy to approach a girl. He writes, "I can't just walk up to girls. That's creepy. Any advices, guys?" And he's got a long ways to go. That's too bad. He also has some kind of, he writes, very embarrassing obsession that have to do with people. I get bullied. Should I accept it or not? Please answer. And I wonder if that's the guy that wrote me about, well, there's a fellow that sent me an email saying he likes to whack off in front of people. And I think that might be the guy. So I blocked him. Don't need any people like that on the channel. It's too bad. Some people develop some weird, creepy stuff, though. You know, who wants to whack off in front of other people? Julian, isn't that just nasty and creepy to you?
Disgusting. That's a real personal thing. Don't do that.
Yeah. Some weird shit.
Nobody wants to see that.
Yep. Nobody wants to see that kind of
yourself, guys.
Kind of nonsense. Let me check, see if that was him that sent the message. Just got back from Palm Springs. Had a great time down there. No, I don't see him in my email list. Let's see. Let's check this dude out. Nope, that's not him. Ben. Guy named Ben. And he has a problem flashing his dick at women. And he says it's very hard to stop. People like that just need professional help. That's it. Okay, mail. Let's see. First piece of mail. I can't tell which ones I've looked at. I believe this one starts here. The brother's writing that he did my Confidence Kicker program. He's 22. I managed to meet the right person among my friends to hook up with on a part-time. Hooked me up with a part-time job at an office. So despite the fact that his internal fear of dressing well, dress shirts with sharp colors or patterns that fit my body type, topping it off with leather shoes, he writes, it's becoming habitual now. So he's learning to dress well. He's getting basically more confidence in himself. Okay. He writes, what helped me the most, player, was developing his third eye Kundalini meditation, some type of Kundalini meditation thing. And on my Facebook channel, I put out a real simple chakra test for you guys to take. I think I've noticed about way over 90% of the men that are in this community, their chakras are in the negative in a lot of areas. Like that base chakra, I don't know if you guys know what the chakra system is. Google it. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. That base chakra, that's when you start channeling energy into your body for your life, it's usually in the negative for a lot of the guys. Over 90% of them. And then it gets worse after that. Number 2 area of negativity is their second one, their second chakra. That deals with your sexual issues and stuff. When you conquer that one, that's where you learn to conquer women. When you conquer women, that one starts flowing energy properly. Then it goes up to your third chakra, which is about personal power, expressing your personal power environments. When it's out of balance, you come off like you want to be Napoleon. That's where you see little nerd guys walking their hands behind their head, big heads tilted back like this, or like that, way overextended, trying to be all bad. That's a person with the third chakra out of balance. Next, it goes up to the heart chakra. And the heart chakra is about, let's say it's about finding your passions. I like to think of it as finding your passions, your purpose. But it's about being intimate and being able to express love. And many, many males in this area are just in the negative. I've seen that again and again and again. And then it goes up to the throat chakra, which is about learning to speak. Remember, guys in this community, they're kind of shy. So I seemed like minus in this area. Whoa. Some guys are overblown. They talk too much. Let's see if I can give you my scores. The test when I took it a long time ago. And let's see, chakra test. There we go. Page 1. I've got over 20 pages on my forum of guys who've taken the test. Okay, back then my root chakra was open 38%, sacral 50%, navel open 38%, heart 38%, throat 69%. Remember, I speak. Third eye overactive 81%, crown 38%. So I got a nice little balance going there. A little bit. I'm in balance in the sexual area. That's when after I'd settled down. So I was down to 50% or whatever. Root 38%. That was right after my little brother passed away. But I'm grounded in who I am. Plus, I also do grounding meditations. I did meditations for all the different chakras years ago, and to help open them up. Because I noticed that your life, it kind of flows in the same system of the chakras. When you're born, it's all about your personal survival. Okay, and that's what the first one's about, the root. Then when you become a teenager and a young man, it's about your sexual. You got to get a woman, okay, or your sexuality comes out. If you're homosexual, then you look for butt. If you're a man, you look for a woman, okay. Or you're a homosexual woman, you look for some rug munching. Either way, it comes out that way. Then when you get that conquered, you start to express your personal power. That's when by then you've got a job. You start to rise up in your corporate office or in your work. Okay. Then you start to come from your heart. You start looking for your passions. Then you start speaking your truth. Okay. Third eye is all about, for me, it's all about being able to see between the lines, be able to be intuitive about people. And then the crown is your spiritual side. Okay? All right. We got Jovina in the room. And there's a fella that, when the old guys I have coffee, well, I don't really have coffee with them anymore. I kind of stopped recently. That's been all up on Jovina's, trying to jot Jovina big time. She went to a store. He followed her in there. He was begging me to, like, as if I was some kind of, I guess some African Americans are kind of like that, begging me, can I hit it? Can I hit it? Type of shit. And trying to get Jovina to, pour. She always pours my creamer in my coffee and then steers it for me. And all those other black guys, they're kind of henpecked by their wives, I guess. They don't see a natural woman doing for a man. So that kind of turns him on. So he'd hold his cup out, and she finally told him, pour it yourself. Stir it yourself. So I set him off on a negative twinge. But he's a major hoe chaser. He thinks that if he waits long enough, he'll get a chance. And what do you guys say about that?
I think he's delusional.
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys out there are delusional.
In what way?
In that same way, thinking that if they try hard enough and go after the same woman, even after she, puts them down every single time or says no every single, they think if they wait long enough and keep trying, that eventually they'll break her down.
The PUAs has this thing where they believe in. To me personally, I think it's an element of low morals. I've been involved in situations where the women, first time the woman lied to me and kind of played me. I didn't know that she said she had a roommate, and I didn't know she was married. Ended up being married. Okay, I try not to go after a guy who has a girlfriend because I don't want to get shot. Number one. Plus, it's kind of doggish. We're like fucking dogs where you try to go after each other's woman. And I've seen that in the African American community when I was growing up with my parents and stuff like that. Behind my dad's back, this one guy in my dad's band would try, kiss up on my mother. And I saw that. I took a fork and I said, one day, I'm going to kill you. To him. And he took me seriously. I was 15. And he's 15 years older than I am, so he was 30. And I've seen that over and over again in the black community, but I've also noticed in the Caucasian community. But the pickup artists think that it's some kind of big win for them to be able to get another guy's woman. And I was talking to Jovine about that over breakfast, and I think it's actually personally, it's immoral, it's stupid, it's immature. Okay, it's also
it's insulting.
Exactly. Not every girl's going to cheat on their man. There are some sleaze out there that'll cheat on their men. Okay, but not every girl has low morals, and that's what they're assuming. Every girl has no morals, and there are women out there that are devoted to their men. They're loyal. Okay, they need to understand that they're coming from just a male-centered perspective of nerds. Nerds don't know anything about women, so of course they're giving out bad information that women will cheat on their men and develop something called a boyfriend destroyer, and that's where they go up and they badmouth the boyfriend. Try to insinuate that the boyfriend's no good and talk shit about him, shit like that.
Like they know him.
Yeah, and then they do it to each other within their own community. That's one thing I would never do to one of my friends. I would never want to fuck one of their women. Now, I've been in situations where it was done to me, and I went back and fucked the girl again. Okay? Situation was a long time ago. I met a girl in a nightclub. That's the one I talked to my fellas about. I got her number. Me and my boys were competing for it, and I won. And I went home, called her, went over there, after 4 in the morning, did my deed, whatever. And then she started going to the same club looking for me all the time at America Live. So I ditched out for a while. And I came back, and Tall Mr. Negative was hitting it, or started hooking up with her. And she asked me not to say anything. Then after, she got tired of him because he was real needy, we hooked up again. That's the only thing I've ever done. Well, not true. Also, the belly dancer chick. To get back at me, she went out with Tall Mr. Negative again. And I warned him, don't go out with her. All she's going to do is try to come between our friendship. Okay, after I, kicked her to the curb. So, sure enough, she did exactly that. Okay? She did exactly that. And, it caused friction between him and I tried to explain to him, that that's what she's doing. Then she compared us sexually, and the brother had a 9.5-inch dick. After that, he couldn't get it hard. That's back when I was learning how to use my mind on women and forming connections. Okay, so it wasn't the same as Mr. 9.5 there. And he had issues after that. So it really fucked him up. And I warned his ass. And after that, she wanted to come sleep with me again. And after she kicked him to the curb, and I let her back in just to fuck with her and fuck her up, which I did do to pay her back. But that's about it. Okay, I don't like the idea of chasing after one of my friends' girls. I see that I've had guys, that one friend of mine did that to me on that situation. After I'd been kicked to the curb, you don't want to go where I've been. I don't believe in going where your buddies have been. So I get all these emails, my buddy broke up with a girl, but I like his girl. Should I go for her? No. You don't go where your boys have been, laying their seed, their energy. That's nasty to me. So anyway, the pickup artist community has that boyfriend destroyer, and I think it's the biggest crack of shit. Number one, you're not gonna talk a real woman into leaving her man. Sure, out there in the drunk world of drugs and all that kind of stuff, some of these girls sleep around. It might happen, with low lifes, but you get what you get. Get herpes or whatever from the bitch, you deserve it. AIDS, whatever. That type of woman. But a real woman's not going to, sleep around on a man. She's going to get rid of that motherfucker first. Then step up to a higher level. Okay? Now, I think that this kind of boyfriend destroyer crap needs to go, don't you?
I think so too. Who invented it?
The nerds. Of course, the nerds. Now we're both in the picture. It seems like every time I turn around, I started thinking about the stuff the pickup artists come out with, I realized it's coming from just a male perspective, and they don't back engineer anything. Like, what I've tried to do is back engineer from a woman's point of view. You know, okay, what does a woman like? Okay, let me give her what she likes. What she like in bed? Okay, let me do what she likes in bed. I try to back engineer everything. So that you give the woman what she's looking for, because there's no way you're gonna get in a woman's pants unless she likes what you have anyway.
Yeah.
So why not just give her what you like? It's a simple marketing to me. I don't know if you guys understand it, but it makes logical sense. It's easy.
Common sense.
I still see guys that still dealing with the whole choosing thing. Then women do the choosing. Ultimately, women do the choosing. That's the bottom line. When you accept that, and I have a couple people on my forum that still can't fully accept it.
Yeah, they can't understand that that's the way it has to be.
Yeah, that's the way it is. Because you can't force a woman to have sex
No,
with you.
you can't.
And that's rape. But the people that do it are usually better looking, better than average looking. And when they go out the whole chase, they get a better result. So that's the way it is.
They've got a much better chance.
They get,
Their looks on their side.
Yeah. But what about the guys that, I try to explain to them, what about the guys that, like me, I'm average in looks, I had to make myself, more buffed out to be more appealing to women or whatever. Or what about the guys that, are average or below average, nerds and all that kind of stuff? I noticed that there's guys with the short guy complex thing, all that stuff. What about the guys with the fucked up mentalities, low self-esteem, because they're not good looking or whatever? What about the rest of the guys? Which is the market. That's what they don't say. That's the market that's coming here. And I see it in the African American community too. A lot of guys, have a false expectation of themselves. And I want you guys to think, okay, if you think you're handsome, and I hate to put this out there like this, but then women should be all up in your face everywhere you go. Okay? They should be looking everywhere you go. If they are not looking,
you're
then
not as handsome as you think.
Another way to think about it, who are those? Let's start with the black dudes. Who are the black dudes that are good looking in Hollywood?
Oh wow. I'm gonna go for the older. There's like Denzel Washington.
These guys are young. Forget the old dudes.
Oh, okay.
Young dudes. They're on TV or 30 in their 30s. Shamar Moore, Tyson Beckford, Tyrese.
There's all kinds.
And I'm mentioning, Dark Brothers too. They're attractive, good looking also. Name some more. There's TV shows you used to watch.
I don't know a lot of the actors. I don't know their names.
Okay, if you're black and you look like those guys, you'd know it. Okay, because women be jockeying all over the place. Whatever skin tone you have, women be jockeying you everywhere you go. Okay, if they're not jockeying you everywhere you go, then you're maybe not as good looking as you think. Okay, more likely you're probably average like the rest of us. For Caucasian fellows, who's the guy that does all the dance movies?
Oh, Tatum.
If you look like Tatum Channing or
Channing Tatum,
whatever the fuck his name is. What's another guy's name? This girls like kids. There's a Zac Efron. I remember his name. Yeah. If you look like that.
Justin Bieber is even really popular. He's really popular. Let's face it.
Okay, the difference is though these guys, if they didn't have their success, okay, they would still pull ass. Okay, what makes them pull major ass is they're successful, they're famous. We know that. But if they didn't have that, I bet you Tyson Beckford got all kind of mad pussy. Is that his name? Beckford, the model? I bet he got mad pussy before
Tyrese is the singer and
before they became famous. I bet they got mad pussy. Okay. They got the certain looks that women like. If you don't have those same kind of quality of looks, people ain't asked you to model for them or be in this movie and all that kind of shit. You're just average, or maybe a little above average. But these guys are way up there. Okay. For those guys, they get hoe chased like a motherfucker, even if they weren't famous, and get away with it. I always talk about a fellow that when I was dating that MAC makeup model chick. She had a friend that was a male model, and I went out with the guy a couple times. I stopped going out with him because everywhere I went, it was demeaning, destructive to my ego. Okay, I was used to getting choosing signals. I went to a bar with this motherfucker. You know, he was a white dude. He wasn't very tall. He was about 5'7", 5'8".
That's my height.
Yeah. But he looked like a Robert Redford. He had sandy, reddish blonde hair. The girls called him drop dead gorgeous. Everywhere we fucking went. Every fucking place I went with this motherfucker. Girls were looking at him and whispering and giggling at him across the bar. Okay? Every fucking place. You hear my anger. I stopped going out with the motherfucker. Because that kind of motherfucker, you know, you go out with him, you get the leftovers. I got a better ego than that. I don't want to take a motherfucker's leftovers. And he was in the movie also. He was in Will Smith's movie where he did in San Francisco about where he was a stockbroker and became famous and rich and all that, whatever. In one of the scenes. Also, one of my other clients was in that same movie. Well, this guy wasn't a client. But, you know, he did modeling and shit like that. Not a very tall model, but, you know, he has those looks. For some reason, he liked me, though. He always wanted to be, you know, go out with me, come around me and stuff. Anyway, if you look like him, you'll know it. Everywhere you go, women are choosing. I'm at the fucking coffee shop. I remember that. Fucking Starbucks. It's like every fucking chick in the place, older women, young chicks, had a glance at the motherfucker. Okay? That's what you call good looking. If you walk in the place and women ain't swarming all over you like that, we got to adjust accordingly. So when you look like that, then it's only natural. You go take your pick. They'll bend over right there for you, practically. So, but you got to remember that women do the choosing. Okay? That's meaning those women saw something they liked. It was physical for them, you know, physical looks. So they chose up on the motherfucker. So you got to give them something that they're going to choose up on. That's it, right there. Jovina has a certain type. Don't you, Jovina?
No, I guess everyone kind of has a certain type.
And what's your type?
What do you mean, what's my type? You know what my type is. Your type. You are my type.
Bald, black guys with goatees. I looked at, you know,
for the most part,
yeah. Bald-headed black dudes with goatees.
I mean, I can adjust my type. It's not necessarily have to be that way.
There's been a couple that had some hair.
I look at the personality, the charisma, you know, that kind of a thing too. It's not
the swag.
It's not, yeah. It's not just about the looks.
Yeah.
For me, but then I'm older, so it's a little different. I think when you get older, you do start looking for other things other than just looks.
Exactly.
And that's what you guys have to remember, is that when you're younger, it's all about the looks. When you get older, it starts to become about more than just looks.
Mm-hmm.
Although they still have, the looks is still important, they start to look for other things because they're looking for someone to settle down with.
Yeah, and that starts about...
And they don't want just a face to settle down with. They want some other things to settle down with.
And for women, they want to start settling down around 27.
Yeah, just before they hit 30.
Yeah. Because they want to start having kids.
They want to be 30 and single. Is how they look at it.
Yep. So some women, it starts a little bit earlier, but their hormones are speaking to them, okay? To procreate.
Yeah,
that's what us breeders, as the gays call us, breeders. Okay, so that instinct to breed is coming out and getting stronger. Plus, their mama's looking at them, their grandmother's looking at them funny. Where are my grandkids, great grandkids? Why don't you have a man? You know, their friends are getting married off. Okay, so society's putting pressure on them. They're putting pressure on themselves. So that urge to find the one gets really strong. And every woman has a picture of the one in her head, and they have a certain type. Okay, and that's where the rest of what I teach comes in to perspective. That's why I want you guys to, you know, find your purpose and passions in life. That way you could have more charisma, because that gives you more charisma. That's why I want you to work on your body, work on your education, your job. Just get going somewhere in life, basically. And that's who they want to latch their tailcoats to. so that she doesn't have to work. She can sit home, take care of the kids, have those 2.5 kids, the little white house, and the white picket fence. Okay, that's a woman's dream that's put in her head since she's a child. Did you get that kind of programming too growing up?
Well, of course. I mean, in my culture, it's really.
It's very strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why you had that arranged marriage. Poppy got rid of you.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, if you're ethnic, it's very strong in your cultures. It's even strong in the Caucasian culture too, or world, and black folks too. All women have it, that pressure to be married. Okay, so that's when they start dropping away from the good looks and going more for the fellow that has more to offer. You guys who are in the young category, unfortunately, it kind of sucks if you're not drop dead gorgeous. That's why I try to get my fellows at least get a badass body then. Okay, if you don't have the facial looks, and a lot of guys, as I try to tell you, you got a wrong perspective of how you truly look. Women will tell you how you look.
So you have to give them something to look at.
Women will tell you if they're not choosing, they don't like what they see. If you walk into a place and you get no choosing signals, like a lot of guys, well, they're blind for one thing, but a lot of guys write me, hey, I went to a club, I got no choosing. They don't like what they saw.
Mm-hmm.
How hard is that to understand? Mm-hmm. Why write me about it? That's what I want to understand. Why write me about it? You're the one who went out in the club, maybe in a clown suit or something stupid. You give them something to choose. That's why you want to, level the playing field. Find out what colors work for you. Like this blue that I'm wearing right now. This Quentin Jovino's. Is this the right blue? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, I don't know my colors. That's why I have to ask her. She's the expert on that shit. But it helps level the playing field so that when you walk into the room, their eye will track to you. Okay? Especially if you're not drop dead gorgeous. It'll help pull more eyes to you. So women can think, I wouldn't mind. I'll check him out. Is that true or not true for most women, Jovina?
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah. He's not too bad. I'd give him a try.
And if you're standing there, another thing, if you're standing there looking uncomfortable and unsure of yourself, they're going to notice that.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to be a turn-off.
Yes, indeed. Women, as I pointed out in my body language series, if you're on my site or in one of my groups, you've seen the whole shebang that I shared with you. But I go back to the experiment they did that I talked about in the show before. A woman can look at a baby and tell whether it's cold, hungry, tired, sleepy, or whatever. And a man, all he can see, just by the baby's body language. I don't know how you guys do that shit either. Because I've seen Jovina do that. Just by the body, it's like, it's a baby crying to me. Feed it. Just shut the fuck up.
Even if it's not hungry.
Yeah. I just stick something in his mouth. Feed it. So shut up. So anyway, and I'm pretty good at reading body language, but I can't read, they're so developed at it. Okay? So if they can read a fucking baby, they can see every goddamn weakness you got.
Everything.
The way you walk, the way you stand, if you nervously glance around, they can tell when you got real confidence, they ain't got it.
And women in your age group, the younger, they're very judgmental, more so than the older women.
True, I agree with that too.
They're very judgmental.
Yeah, they are. They're very judgmental. Yeah. Older women, they're willing to let things slide because they're more desperate, as some people say.
Yeah, like we said, they're looking for something more stable, more permanent, permanent. So they're looking for something different now. They're not all about just the looks or.
Yeah.
It doesn't after a while, it doesn't have to be Mr. Perfect or Mr. Right. It has to be Mr. He'll do. When they get to a certain age.
And women like to get men at a bargain basement. Women love bargains. Okay, they like get a bargain basement and fix it up. That's why women were hunting at like AA meetings, looking for contractors. They'll get that contractor, hook up with him, get married to him, and the guy's business has gone down. They help build him back up, okay, and ride him to success. Don't hate women for it. Okay, women, you got to understand how women have been since the beginning of time. They need that man, or they did need that man, to become protector and providers. Now there are women out there to do it for themselves. Like, you know, most women do have a job, they can take care of themselves. But it's much easier with the man. Okay? So they're looking for that partnership, that co-working thing.
Yeah, also when they get older, they don't want to, they have that fear of growing old alone.
Yeah.
Which I think that goes for anybody. You get to a certain age, you do have that fear of being alone. And you do want to have somebody there to spend your life with.
Yep. And that's where I was at when I was in my 40s. Fuck it, I wasn't really there. I was, because my brother died. Then I woke up, realized, you know what, I don't want to be alone, still struggling in the game. A lot of guys ask me, you know, why don't you get back in the game? Why aren't you in the game? Man, motherfucker, I was in my 40s when I stopped. 45. You know, that's way too old. You know, I don't want to be one of these old black men up in the club also. And that's one thing that bothered me. When I started looking older, at 42 I looked like I was 29, but stress or whatever, I started aging, sickness, whatever, and it caught up with me. Okay?
It does kind of catch up with you. It kind of sneaks up on you when you're not expecting it. It's like one day you look in the mirror and it's like, oh, when did that happen?
Yeah, I've noticed that about you.
It's for both. Well, hey, look who's talking. I can't help that. It's what happens.
Yeah. Well, they say black don't crack. So, anyway.
Oh, those dark circles under the eyes aren't helping much either.
That's pre-diabetes right there that I got to get rid of.
Well, it's not helping you.
Are you trying to put Player Supreme down? Huh?
Yeah, because you're putting me down.
Huh? Are you trying to put Player Supreme down?
Payback.
I still catch with these dark circles. Hey, baby. Hey.
Okay, fine.
See my eyes? So anyway, we fuck with each other like that.
All the time.
Yeah. That's what having a good relationship is about, you know, where you can joke with each other and not really take each other seriously.
Yeah, you have to be able to just lighten up.
Yeah, lighten up the fucking shit. A lot of you guys are too stiff with women. You put them up on that woman pedestal. Yeah, they can't be human beings around you guys. Because if she acts like, you know, she burps, oh God, women don't burp. I used to be like that too. I used to believe that women didn't take a dump when I was a kid.
Wow. What did you think they did?
I didn't think women took dumps. I didn't study the body and the digestive system at the time.
So how old were you when you realized that they did?
About third grade or maybe not third grade.
To gross you out?
No, I just kind of realized they must do the same thing we do. You know. So anyway, that's what I put. I had women up on this pedestal of purity and all that kind of stuff, and I don't know where it came from, especially the way I grew up. I have no idea. I apologize for that lack of human understanding at a young age. Nothing I can do about it. I was an idiot. I was an idiot for a long time. I used to also not believe that women lied. And I was actually in high school, I think, that women lied. I had this bad, wrong ideas of women. Okay, I think I was in actually junior high. Women tell lies? You know, women they're special, they're pure.
They're perfect.
Which is kind of unusual because the mother I had is nothing like that. I used to think she was from Satan. I did.
So how did you ever think that women were perfect?
Because I watched a lot of movies.
Oh, they were perfect in the movies.
Yeah, they were perfect in the movies. That's where I got it from. You know, I think back to I always watched TV when I was a little kid because it just came out. Probably about 10 years before I was born. So I started watching, I watched a lot of TV growing up. Or I listened to the radio programs back. Actually, we had radio programs back in the 60s there, fellas. We didn't have a TV. And I heard a lot of the TV shows that were actually on the radio. Like Lassie, it was on the radio. They don't have Lassie anymore, but...
Yes, way back in the day.
Yeah, way back in the days. And we were military. So when we finally got our first TV, I just was hooked. I loved the cartoons and stuff like that. So anyway, in our conversation, I've talked about hoe chasing, as I said, I don't understand why guys just can't understand that. And there's guys that can't understand that because they're usually better than average looking. So they get better than average results. If you're average and below, it's not going to be that same. That's why I say, hey, let's just make this easy for ourselves. For those of us who are just average or below average. Okay, if you don't walk in the room and females ain't all up in your jock and shit, then you're average or below average. You're not there. So let's just make it easy for ourselves. In that room, though, there's going to be some woman that is going to be looking at you that thinks, oh, I would do him. Okay? And that's what you want to find, is that one woman that is thinking, oh, because she'll be giving you looks. Okay? But you got to be able to catch it, and catch it fast. That's why I tell guys when they go into the room, don't stare at the hot chicks. Find the chicks that are staring at you, or they're looking at you. Okay?
Because you're going to be wasting your time otherwise.
Yeah, for this community. If you're online looking for answers, then you're in this community, unfortunately. Okay? Whether you're black, white, Asian, Indian, or whatever. Latino. Because I used to think Latin guys were like super cool. But there are Latin fellows out there that, I thought Latin guys were Latin lovers and stuff. But there are Latin fellows out there that, can't get women either. I never knew that. I thought Arabs always, just said, "Bend over, bitch!" That type of thing with women. But there are Arab guys that can't control the women or dominate women. I had wrong stereotypes. I realized a lot of males out there are having trouble with women, especially in today's environment. So that's why I'm glad I'm doing what I'm doing. I think I've talked enough. It's almost 40 minutes. Peace, fellas.